River City Junction. River City, next station stop.
You're crazy with the heat. Credit's no good for a notion salesman.
Board! All aboard!
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City! River City next!
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the knockers and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly paper.
Look, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? You can talk, you can talk, you can picker, you can talk, you can picker, picker, picker. You can talk, you can talk, you can talk, 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 picker, picker, picker. Talk all you wanted, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people wanna go, wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk, what do you talk?
Where do you get it? Not the Model T at all. Take a gander at the store, at the margin store, at the present day store, at the present day margin departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk?
Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, 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 bicker, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you wanted, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why, you need a biscuit made the trouble. You need to put the crackers in the package. You need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package made the Cracker Barrel. Obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch, clock, charm of the stove. Changed the approach of a traveling salesman and made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone with the hogshead, cask and demijohn. Gone with the Cracker Barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
No!
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Hill. Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's the fella's line? Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or that you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line. Or a doggone thing, he's just a bang beat, bell ringing, big ball, great going, neck or nothing, rip roaring every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill. Tell us, what's his line?
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Luke, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk, what do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass. And the piccolo, uniforms too, with a shining gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombone. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a juice heart.
No, the fellow sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies, and he gathers, and he plucks, and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City. We're across the state line into Iowa. River City. Population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in the state. Board!
All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never saw him in my life, but I know this much. He's giving every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered and rode out to the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rode out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell banged instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play.
Well,
and to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. He can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swindling two-bit thimble rigger, and when I do, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Wow, Charlie, you're mad. Sure like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Not in this trip, not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill wouldn't consider selling them neckbone Hawkeyes out here.
River City next.
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try. I don't believe I caught your name. Don't believe I dropped it.
Did you work on?
Morning, Martian. Good morning, Martian.
It is, if you want to go around in your drawers all day.
And there I was in Madison Hospital, and nobody come to see me. Cousin Will never come. Aunt Bertha never come. Your Aunt Bertha's dead. Well, she wouldn't have come anyway.
We can be cold as a falling thermometers in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so by gosh stubborn we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never say eye to eye. But we'll give you our shirt and a bag to go with it. If your crop should happen to die.
So what the heck? You're welcome. Glad to have you with us, even though we may not ever mention it again.
You really ought to give Iowa, Iowa, to Butte, Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Keokuk, Ames, Clear Lake. Ought to give Iowa a try.
Mr.
Squires.
Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday, if you could help me.
Then I expect you ought to see the man in charge of a hiring rigs, who's late as usual.
Hey, Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun! What in the... Shh!
But Greg?
Professor Hill's the name now. Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why don't you let me know you was coming?
I didn't know I was either. Besides, how could I know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in the business with me.
Oh, not too many close shaves with the way you work. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toffenmeyer, boss's niece.
Oh, gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
So, what's the new pitch? Oh, you're not back in the band business again, are you? I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was?
Well, what happened?
Somebody actually invented one. No. Now give me the lowdown here, Mars.
Well, you'll never get anywhere in the band business with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Oh, besides, we got ourselves here a stuck-up music teacher who'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's the librarian.
Female. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
I will, so how are you gonna start the pitch?
Same as always. Gotta get that teacher off balance. And then I gotta get your town out of the serious trouble it's in.
Well, River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. You remember? And now what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Oh, except the billiard parlor just put in a no pool table.
They never had a pool table here before?
No, only billiards.
That'll do. See you around, Mars. Oh, and remember, music teacher.
Music teacher.
You're Mr.
Dunlop. Yep.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you don't wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table here in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble, right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiards player. Something mighty proud to say. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate a horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leave to yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a ball-flying game. I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first it's a little medicinal wine in a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And he's listening to some big out-of-town Jasper hearing him talk about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they sit down right on the horse. Like to think of some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch. Make your blood boil, well, I should say. Now, folks, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum, with a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering. Frittering away their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket. Never mind getting dandelions pulled at the screen door patch or the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker shirt tail, young ones peeking in the pool hall window after school. That's trouble, folks. Right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on when they're loafing around the hall? They be trying out Bebo, trying out Cubans, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beads, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with scent. One fine night, they'll be leaving the pool hall, headed for the dance at the Armory, libertine men, scarlet women, ragtime, shameless music that'll grab your son, your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble!
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
Oh, yes, we got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school.
Our children gonna have trouble. Trouble, 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 trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed the warnings before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. When your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? Dime novels hidden in the corn crib? Are certain words starting to creep into his conversation? Words like, swell, and so's your old man. Has he started memorizing jokes at a Captain Billy's whiz-bang? If so, my friends, you got trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
Oh, yes, you got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
Our children gonna have trouble.
Oh, you got trouble. You're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is the devil's tool.
Devil's tool.
Oh, yes, you got trouble, trouble, trouble.
Oh, yes, we got trouble. Yeah, we got big, big trouble.
With a T. Gotta rhyme it with P. And that stands for pool.
Excuse me, did you drop your handkerchief? Didn't I meet you in...
No.
I'll only be in town a short while and I'd...
Good.
That you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now, don't dawdle, Amaryllis. Sol, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it couldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library is entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I cannot my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take any advice from you? Even if you can quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all the other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
Now I haven't changed the subject, I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Now, Mama, do you think that I'd allow a common masher now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
Oh, I know all about your standards, if you don't mind my saying so. There's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that. Belinda, Paul, Bunyan, St. Pat, and Noah Webster, you concoct it for yourself. And your Irish imagination, your Iowa stubbornness, and your library full of books.
Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a...
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from me, boy. That lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I'd especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No, what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. 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 He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people? Just because he lisps.
It's not only because he lisps, Amaryllis. That's just part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or else it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
There, darling, don't cry. You have lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! I'll end up an old maid, like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marian. Can I play my crosshand piece?
May I play my...
May I play my crosshand piece?
You may.
See? Without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. For the time being, just say goodnight, my... someone. You could put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife. Eulalie McKechnie Shin, for leading us in the singing. And to J.C. Squires for his fine stereoptician slides. And to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine piano player. As mayor of River City, I'd like to welcome you all, River Citizens, to this 4th of July exercises put on here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. 467. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watanyi girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will now present a spectacle, My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take leading part.
I will now count to 20 in the Indian tongue. Een, teen, t'other, feather, fip. George, I'm shot, George!
Who set off that cracker?
I know who did it. Tommy Gillis did it. Tommy Gillis did it.
Yes, it was Tommy Gillis.
Tommy Gillis? I wouldn't leave if I was you.
Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. 7 years ago. The Payne's fireworks spectacle, the last days of Pompeii, will now take place, providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out to Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow, across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did. You were tasked by prepared for a storm.
The Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, JC.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Just a minute. Let's have some order here. Order.
Number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
Oh, she's late, all right.
She's right on time. Smart at your watch.
What's the matter with
Stop bickering in public.
All in the world that I said was...
Never mind. 7.
We hear there's a pool table in town.
Yeah. Now, just a minute.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Allow me to get on with the exercises.
We don't want to do any more exercises till we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children. Yes! Resist sin and corruption. Yes! Smite that devil and keep our young boys pure. Yes! Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can fix this trouble, my friends, with a wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Ra, 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 da, 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 da. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous, fabled walls of Jericho? Oh, billiard pole walls come tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I say a boys' band. Do you hear me? I say River City's gotta have her boys band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and River City's gonna have her boys band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll hear the crashing of cymbals, the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Ta-ta-da! 76 trombones led the parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottom timpani and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell, euphonium, and big bassoon. Each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
Trombones in the counterpoint, 110 cornets blazed away. To the little march, 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 all the kids began to march, and they're marching still right today.
for emergency action. That man is a spellbinder. I haven't seen River City people get so excited since the night Frank Gotch and Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Oh, never mind. I want his credentials. Grab that hoodlum. He almost blew Mrs. Shin.
Thank you, Professor. I have to make an example of him. Ringleader, you know. What he does, the gang does.
Chili Clyde, let me go.
You wild kid, ya? Hanging around my oldest girl? His father's one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, ya? Tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday?
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We was just walking together, Chili Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was doing. My little Gracie seen ya? Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you about this band thing Monday morning over to City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough, and he's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Oh, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Not about playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever done anything with perpetual motion?
Well, nearly had it a couple times.
You did? Well, you're my man. Do you realize no one has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hang the music.
Chili Clyde, where do I get some wire from?
Check your cellar. That's where people keep wire.
Okay.
Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, let me show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady. Oh, miss. What's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me. He gads.
Zanita, do you know Tommy Giulis?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. Escort the young lady home.
only excepting I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. He gads.
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
He gads.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow. You made a couple mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor happens to own the billiard parlor and the new pool table.
Oh, and what was my other mistake?
That's Zanita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Sorry, Professor. We're the school board, and we need your credentials.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind. All letters and papers.
Make him put up a bar!
Wait. What am I hearing? You. Say... ice cream. Well, ice cream, but I don't sing, young man, if that's what you're getting at. All right. Talk then.
Down there.
Ice cream. Talk slow. Ice cream. See? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you.
Ice cream.
Now you, right here.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir. Ladies, from now on, you will not see one of those men without the other three.
Oh, Professor, you're wrong. They've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
How can there be
any sin insincere? Where is the good in goodbye? In goodbye. Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Mystify, tell me what can be fair.
in farewell, dear. While one single star shines above, how can there be any sin insincere? Aren't we sincerely in love? Oh, we're in love.
I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No.
I'll only be in town a short while.
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor? Of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street? Like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of '05.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I am not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some of the people in this town. And I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there, which may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Gregory. Hey, Marson. Don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious.
Ah.
Ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did. Boy, you cut us well tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like you used to imitate that band concert fellow back in Joplin. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. Just keep an eye on me these next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It used to only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
It still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
No, Greg, you haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But Greg, you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. Oh, I mean for any 4 weeks, of course.
Mars.
Okay, but you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people want to hear music. You have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they forget everything else. Oh, this is a refined operation, son, and I've got it timed down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, I'm gonna line yourself up a little canoodling, huh?
Well.
Oh, Professor Hill, we're all agog. Simply agog. Everyone's so excited about the band.
I'm Knuckles Toffelmeyer, the pianola girl, and this is Mrs. Squat.
Hello.
Mrs. Hicks.
How do you do?
And of course you've met Eulalie McKechnie, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I couldn't say. I could not say at this time.
Oh, no.
My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes. I'm reticent.
Why, of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand, but you see, part of my music plans do include a committee on the dance and... No, do that again! Your foot, the way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that...
Oh, what grace! What natural flow of rhythm, what expression of line and movement.
Mr. Hill!
You must accept the chairmanship for the ladies' auxiliary of the classic dance. Mustn't she, ladies?
Oh, yes, please,
Every move you make bespeaks Del Sart. Will you say yes, Mrs. Shin?
Eulalie McKechnie Shin. Well, that is dancing. Well,
Then you accept?
yes, indeed. And I would like to say...
Thank you. Now, about the young lady who plays the piano. Marion Peru, I believe? After all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 cheep. pickle up, pick a little more.
Of course I shouldn't be telling you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books!
Cheep, 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 pickle up, pick a little more. Pick a little, pick a little, pick a little. Cheep, 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 cheep.
And the worst thing, I probably shouldn't be telling you this.
I'll tell. No, my street, let me tell. Stop.
I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison? Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who did you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say the show-off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a good touch guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver voice protected her love. Dismount her tongue and you reveal a love so dead as the holy steel here. Her woman's heart she beat. He left the River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer,
Just a minute. We need your credentials.
Of course. I have just what you want over my hotel. Come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you now. It's all right. I know everything and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Mr. Madison, you were probably very young and anyone can make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations, please. I'll only be in town a short while.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
Oh, but I have.
Well, what do you want to take out?
The librarian!
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not listening, Marion. Look. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big glassy with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Shh. Madam Library. My dear, to make it clear, I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigademan had to whisper the news to Mary. Madam Library. What can I say in here to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to Carrie. Madam Librarian.
But in the moonlight, a man could sing it in the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgettable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Mary. Madam Librarian. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgettable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Mary. Ladies' Dance Committee meets Tuesday nights. Marshmallow? Madam Librarian. Well, Tommy, we've had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Tell you what, you better go home and get some dinner. I'll try a couple by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Now, just a minute. Are you still listening? You haven't got a license.
Why, no, Mayor Shin. I collect doorbells. This particular specimen has an unusual tone quality that is
Flattery
unmatched.
will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Now why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references yet?
Just missed you. Oh no! Mr. Mayor, your hand!
What? What?
The spread of your little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, it is? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good? It means that America has at last produced an artist who can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Where can I get one of these horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 import fee.
Yes, sir. Just think, I could have missed this whole... I haven't got any, son. You unscrupulous fly-by-night! You unscrupulous! Ugh! You be down to City Hall with your by-God papers by 3 o'clock sharp!
You mean this afternoon?
I can't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off!
Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, well, by George! Not that he could ever be really great, you understand,
Oh,
but...
and is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget's, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. O'Clark, O'Mendez, O'Klein...
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No. No, really! Well, that clinches it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your son was born to play the cornet. Fine, fine. That'll be $7 earnest money. Nothing more due till the first installment, payable at opening of band practice. Thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Why, hello, son. Certainly his uniform. And not a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, anticipate, and imagine at no cost whatever. Never let the demands of tomorrow interfere with the pleasures and excitements of today.
Would it have
A stripe? Why, certainly, my boy, a wide red stripe down each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'll pick you for a hod-carrying, clay pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, mavarine pinching, Tara's Hall minstrel singing Irishman. Be going, be jabbers. Where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it. Gary... Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Indeed. Gold medal class of 05. Oh, well, how to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Of course! Peru! I knew the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night, but...
He wants Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a chat with him. I'm sure we could work...
Do you burst in on everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
Because the boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason why your brother should have something like
My
this.
brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. And as to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Well, Miss Marion, I hardly... I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor. About the boy's measurements. I make out his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
Fine. That's all I need. I really must be getting back to the hotel.
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really...
Please, don't worry about a thing. I'm sure at heart she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana, conservation class of 05. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity happens to be music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling. All right. Only, it is a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one jar and the steel in the other, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama. Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear. I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some very large holes in the professor's claims.
Zanita! Hey, Zanita!
Tommy, Mama and Papa are right over there in the bank. Ye-gads!
All right. Then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Epworth League night. Meet you where?
The footbridge?
Isn't that what I just said? First the lumberyard and now the footbridge. And where will we meet after that? The Black Hole of Calcutta? Ye-gads!
Oh, I only want to show you my new invention.
What invention?
It's my music holder for a marching piccolo player. It only has a couple of minor flaws. See, when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, you cut off circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes. The very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Go grab that spellbinder's credentials, I said. Morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of in the home.
But George...
The members of the school board are singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl is boodling off with some wild kid. And my business has fallen so far off the handles, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I've found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Ah, yes. I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I could get out of him. The Gary Conservatory, class of 05.
If you'll just take time to read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look much further. It's on page...
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon is just coming up from the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon?
A likely story. At this hour of the day, nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instruments.
The band instruments.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday.
In March I got a gray mackinac.
And once I got some grapefruit from Tampa.
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a cross-cut saw.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. A prepaid surprise, a COD.
It could be curtains or dishes or a double boiler, or it could be...
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be. Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got some salmon from Seattle last September.
Oh, and I expect a new rocking chair.
I hope I get my raises from Fresno.
The DAR has sent a cannon
heading for the courthouse square.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming now. I don't know how I could ever wait to see. It couldn't stop for someone who was no reason, but it could be something special just for me.
Oh, you Wells Fargo wagon, keep it coming. Oh, you Wells Fargo wagon, keep it coming. Oh, you Wells Fargo wagon, don't you dare to make a sad line mistake. You stop for me.
Here you are, Winthrop.
Cornet, gee, thanks, Professor.
Men, you will each receive individual instruction in due time. But in the meanwhile, stay off the streets. Get acquainted with your instruments and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da. Sister, isn't this the most scrumptious solid gold thing you ever saw? I never thought I'd see anything so scrumptious as a scrumptious solid gold thing. Oh, sister.
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by God tootin' out of those horns in pretty short order. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
Oh, come, George Tempest, field it.
You watch your phraseology. About that book.
Ladies dance tuning Tuesday nights at the high school.
Now turn. Take the body with you. Lovely. Now let's have a go at our Grecian urns. 1 Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. Lovely, ladies, lovely. I predict that our Del Sart will be the highlight of the ice cream sociable. Now, gentlemen, if you're ready. And remember, ladies, don't make me tell you again. Always keep your face to the audience. All right, Mr. Dunlop?
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup. It's you all the way into town.
It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up.
And it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down.
It's you in my pillow, in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you? It's you.
Smile, ladies, smile. Yes, it's you.
Oh, yes, it's you.
Lovely, ladies, lovely.
Hey, Mr. Washburn, start her up. Wait to see the new moves Professor Hill taught us.
Anita?
You take your hands off of my daughter!
Papa! Mr. Shin, Your Honor. Your daughter and I are going steady behind your back.
Why, you?
Well, we'd rather do it in front of your back.
Do what? Never mind.
Well, Zenita's scared of you. But I'm not. I should think you'd hate to have your own daughter scared of you. Jilly Cly!
I'm gonna tell you once more. If I ever see you touching my daughter again, I'll, by God, horsewhip you till hell won't have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means peep.
Oh, yes. And now get out of this public building.
I got as much right in this public building as anybody.
Right? How do you get any right around here? Aiding and abetting the swindling activities of this spellbinding symbol salesman? You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now get out! Get out, you wild kid!
Papa, please. It's Capulets like you that make blood in the marketplace. Egads!
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. You, Laylee.
George, I only...
You tend to your dance.
My dad.
All handles, Anita. Taking up the wild kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can't. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that book you gave me from cover to cover for a whole week, and I haven't found a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please,
I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl. Yes.
All right, but in the meantime, I want you to know I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. You'll be standing in line waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays their first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of their broken legs they'll get from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you what, my young feathered fine... No, my young fine feathered... never mind! Oliver, Olin, J.C. Ewart. I want that man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
Do you mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a buttonnook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no. A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the old poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man only 500. Now, the mayor was already pretty mad on account of his billiard parlor, and, I suppose a reference from a musical authority like yourself would help, but I wouldn't dream of asking you to do a thing like that.
Why, Professor Hill?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
Oh, his cornet, mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. Well, the first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Yes, blats.
And he sings the minuet in G-dee-da almost constantly.
La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
But he never touches the cornet.
Well, you see...
He says that you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well...
He tells me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with any of the notes. Now, Professor...
Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary new method, I'll admit. But so was Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I really can't discuss these things here in public, but if you'll allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, ching, ching, ching. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, ching, ching, ching. Talk a lot, pick a little more. Pick a little, talk a little, ching, ching, ching.
You are so dear speaking with Professor Hill tonight. You are a fairy princess with moonbeam for your floor. You have a golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold a forgiving heart of the purest gold fear, where woman's heart should be. Fairy princess, moonbeam floor, golden shimmer, silver shoes. Now unfold a heart of gold, here where woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply adore them all. Chaucer, love stick a little more pillows, a little pillows. Tip, 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 tip.
Ah, sorry, Professor. We have our orders. We all been deputized.
Yes, congratulations. Now let's see. You know all week long I've been trying to give you fellas my references and credentials, but every time you seem to get off the subject somehow. Now I have just what you want over in my hotel room. Take me a second.
Oh, sorry. Afraid we'll have to go with you.
Yes, well, let's see if I have my key. What's this? Oh, a testimony from Madame Reaney, the only female bassoon player ever to appear on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline. Lida Rose Quackenbush.
No, I see that for a minute.
Oh, you'll never forget the name. Lida Rose. Same as the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lida Rose, oh, won't you be my Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of now, dream of then, dream of a love song that might have been. Do I love you? Oh yes, I love you, and I'll bravely tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that memory, how long ago, forever, yes, forever, will I ever tell you. Ah, no.
Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in the sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy.
Do I love you? Oh yes,
I can hear the chapel bell
and I'll
chime.
bravely tell you,
Dong ding,
but only
at the
when
least
we dream
suggestion I'll
again.
pop the question.
Sweet
Lida Rose, I'm
and
home again,
low,
Rose, without a sweetheart to
sweet
my
and
name.
low, how
Lida
sweet
Rose,
that
now everyone knows that I'm hoping
how
you're
long
the
ago,
same.
forever,
So here's my love
Won't you ever tell him? Yes, no, fiddlesticks. Just open your mouth and let it come out.
Now, Mama.
Now, nothing. If he ever comes to call, you'll see him alone. If you haven't the gumptions, tell him how you feel.
Tell him?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a ladylike hint.
Mama!
Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing.
Fishing?
With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill? Did you have a good time?
Scrumptious. He told me about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song that hardly had any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, that's the town that knew me when. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how it happened on this elegant syncopation, I was there without a moment of hesitation. There is just one place that could light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, nothing on around. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, well, sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened on this all I can think of it now. I would say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face.
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
Not Louisiana, Paris, New York, around. But
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. My home sweet home.
I'll be back in a minute. I have to show Amaryllis my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. La-di-da.
Leave the dishes. I'll do them, Mama.
Don't you have to change for the sociable?
There's time later.
She's live around here somewhere?
The Shin home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, criminy. I see the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fellow Hill forming a boys band here.
Well, yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling two-bit thimblewigger. That's why I gotta see Shin. I'm just passing through. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish you was 20. Would you like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girly girl?
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell. Anvil salesman. But just now I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake? Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fellow's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not going to spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him? He's no more professor.
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. Now, he's a fine director, and his scholastic...
Now, wait a minute. Fine director? Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. He never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
If you'll just listen to me for a minute...
I'd like to do more than that if I had the time. But I gotta get back on that train and leave this dynamite with somebody on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl. See you next time through.
You'll never make that train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I've got to leave word, and I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Well, just a minute. Mr. Cowell, you don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No, I just meant I don't know you, and...
Yes, I need more time anyway.
Well, I meant as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. Now what am I doing? I've got to leave word about that fellow Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tintype. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me. There's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... Who do you think you're protecting? That fella's got a girl in every county in Illinois. And that's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teachers like you he cozies up to keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you's heard the last of me yet, girly girl.
Marion? Marion! Marion! Who was you talking to just... Why, Professor Hill.
Good evening, Mrs. Peru. Miss Marion.
You and Marion come up and set. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything.
Miss Marion, I'm not assuming your invitation inferred anything more than academic enlightenment. The think system? Oh, I've been by a time or two this week to try to explain it to you, but there always seem to be people around, mostly ladies, I think.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Good. Wouldn't want anyone beating my time. You wouldn't? No, ma'am. Well, it's evidently not the convenient night. I'll see you later at the sociable.
Professor Hill, is it really true that you've had 100... What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it really true that you've developed a think system?
A what? Oh, a think system. Yes, it's really very simple as whistling. You think of a tune up here, have it come out clearly here. Now, why don't you try that for yourself?
I take your word.
Can we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well...
Have they all been as fascinated as I have been with the think system?
Some more, some less. One young lady had thought up the same system before I arrived in her town, showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Oh, please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. You must have many more important things to do than to explain the think system to me.
I couldn't think of one.
Then I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where do you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Oh, Miss Marion, you mustn't believe everything you hear. After all, one also hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me in a shared job so Mother and Winthrop and I would have some security. Now, surely you don't believe...
Of course not. But that's what I'm saying. And where do you think these rumors come from?
Narrow-mindedness and jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And jealousy also mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. Now, what have you heard?
Oh, nothing about you personally, just generally.
What have you heard generally?
Well, just that... Well, but of course, it just stands to reason that disappointment and jealousy can lead to... Well, take you, for instance, your attention to customers and, well, teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, now, honestly, mightn't they?
Why?
And so you say if another salesman or somebody else were jealous, well, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Why, of course.
It just proves you should never believe everything you hear, doesn't it? I mean, if you discuss things...
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But could we please do it sitting down? You do sit. Your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch swing.
Or we could sit on a large hollow log over the footbridge.
Oh, I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 15 minutes.
Oh, no, I can't. Please, some other time, maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, Pile up enough tomorrows and all you'll be left with is a bunch of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Well, so would I.
The footbridge. 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Mama! What? I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Oh, glory be and saints be praised! It works!
What works?
I've been using the big system on you from the parlor.
Greg, the uniforms have arrived. The kids are in them already. The people are going to be screaming for music if those kids show up at the sociable.
Yeah.
Hey, here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's trying to keep the kids together at least. Return to all the practice over at the lumber yard.
All right, Marsh, go get the rig.
I got it.
What time's the freight leave?
9:40 from the junction.
Well, it's not even 8:30 yet.
All right, look, you want to turtle whirtle around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap.
Oh,
go away.
don't worry. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Oh, well, I mean that you're, well, I'd say about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost going to be longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now say, you don't suppose I've been selling you anything?
Well, no. You've given me something.
That's why I decided to come.
I don't recall giving you
Oh,
any-
yes, you have. Something beautiful. That's why I came, and I'm glad. Please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put for very long.
I know that there have been many ports of call, and that there will be many more.
But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you have left behind for me.
Marion,
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. Oh, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I
was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never had it at all. Still
Marion, there's a lot you don't know about me.
Hey, Greg!
Excuse me. I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz, and this could be it.
Now what? Who's the salesman here? It sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
You nuts? I didn't know I was going to be able to leave tonight. Had to keep her off balance. Didn't I tell you?
Well, now she's so far off balance, you can't tell her from a catboat in a hurricane.
Listen, Buster Brown, beat it. Go get the rig.
Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Yeah, do we really have to go into that just now? I mean...
No, we don't. Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but she made sure she did plenty when you first came here.
Oh, about what?
Oh, about Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory of Music, gold medal class of '05. Harold, there wasn't any Gary Conservatory in '05.
Why, there's certainly...
Because the town wasn't even built until '06. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew all the time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came. I tore this page out of the Indiana Journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all of my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you... Why, you little... While 110 cornets played the air, then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I pawed up and down the square.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining, its brightest light.
There were horns of every shade. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams they'll be.
While 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
Fountain? Trickle, 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 trickle.
It's our turn, Mr. Washburn.
All right, what'll it be?
We want shapoopy!
Shapoopy!
All right, shapoopy it is. And a woman who kissed on the very first date is usually found blushing. And a woman who kissed on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who waits to the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground, she's the girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy, 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 shapoopy.
The girl who's hard to get.
Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy.
But you can win her yet.
Walk her once, just raise the curtain. If you walk around twice, then you know for certain. Once more in the flower, we're gonna shoot and never get sold if you beg her pardon.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Squeeze her once for tears, and look at it, get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. One for the pepper, rubber shoot.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, do.
Little old Sal's an old gal, as anyone could see. Look at her now, she's a gold gal who only goes for me. Squeeze her once for tears, and look at, get a squeeze back, that's fancy cooking. Once more for the pair, forever she will never get sore on your way to supper.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, si, do.
Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy.
The girl who's hard to get.
Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy.
But you can win her yet.
Stop! Stop! Listen to this man!
You gullible green grass goats!
Oh, dare you?
Can't you get it through your thick heads that you're being swindled out of your eye teeth right now? This minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about Professor Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket. Pickpocket? Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and yours, little lady, ever since the first moment he came to this town. There's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There never was any band, there never has been any band, and there never will be any band. If you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Professor Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Yeah!
Money? We want his hide.
Attaboy!
Where is that hill?
Where is he?
After him! And when you find him, bring him back to the schoolhouse. After him!
Go! Go! Get out of here!
Try the low road. Check by the creek. Try the mill. Back of the privy.
I've been looking all over for you. Where have you been?
Harold, I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run off. Please, Harold, please go. They're even talking about tar and feathers.
Marion, I had to see you.
It's all right. Don't you know that? You don't owe me a word, not a word. Okay.
Winthrop! Whoa, wait here a minute, son.
I'm not your thumb. Let me go.
Now, till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You would have told the truth anyway.
Would to.
Would not.
Would to. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty rotten cook?
Yes.
Now let me go, you big liar.
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? No, I'm bigger than you, and you're gonna stand here and get it all anyway, so you might as well quit wiggling. There are two things you're entitled to know. The first, you're a wonderful kid. I knew so from the first. That's why I wanted you in the band. Just so you'd quit moping around, feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, the second thing is none of your business.
I wish you never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop. I believe everything he ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us. And it all happened just like he said. The lights, the flags, and the colors and the symbols.
Where was all that?
And the way every kid in this town walked around here all summer. And looked and acted. Especially you. And the parents, too. Does Mother wish he never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
The first time in my life, I got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you. Greg, he's here, come on. This way.
Go on, Professor. That way. That way.
Which is why I interrupted the sociable at this point. Rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended at this point. Yes, and always remember, fellow River citizens, I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from happening. 4
What have you done to get our money back? That professor's collected over $300 just tonight on uniforms.
Yes. And we haven't even seen the uniforms yet.
Yeah.
He's slippery. I told you that
I haven't seen the uniforms or my boy either since just after supper.
He's a kidnapper.
Fine situation.
4 Just a minute.
Oh, what a criminal.
Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I shall not say them nay.
Well, I should think that there ought to be some of you who could forget our everlasting Iowa stubborn, chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance just long enough to remember River City the way it was before Harold arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely, there ought to be some of you who could be grateful to him for what he's done to this town. And if so, I should think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's anyone in this hall who doesn't think this man, Hill, should be tarred and feathered? Let him stand up. You lately, sit down. And the rest of you, standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you people forgotten how you bought expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your kids would be taught to play in a band? Well, Harold, where's the band? Where's the band?
Think, men, think!
Play to me, Gamer, play to me!